I checked my security camera footage at 2:30 a.m., and I saw myself walking into my house. The only problem was, I was still at work. If you think this is just another glitch story, stay with me, because what that camera recorded changed everything about how I see my own reflection. And before we go further, like this video and subscribe to Unblinking if you love psychological horror that feels way too real. I installed the cameras 2 months ago. Front door, driveway, living room. Just normal home security stuff. Nothing fancy. I live alone. Small house. Quiet neighborhood. The kind of place where nothing ever happens. That night at work was slow. Around 2 a.m., I got a motion alert from my front door camera. I figured maybe a raccoon or a delivery truck driving by. But when I opened the app, my stomach dropped. The timestamp said to 11 a.m. The video showed my driveway. My porch light turned on automatically. And then I walked into frame. Same clothes I'd worn earlier that day. Same jacket, same backpack, same tired posture. I unlocked the door. You went inside, and the door shut behind me. I stared at the screen for a full minute. My brain refused to process it, because I was sitting in the security office at work when that footage was recorded. I even checked the time clock. 2:11 a.m. I was logged in. Cameras everywhere at work would confirm that. So how did I just watch myself enter my own house? I replayed the clip over and over. It wasn't blurry. It wasn't distorted. It was clear HD footage. My face, my walk, my exact movements. There was something slightly off, though. When I looked up at the camera before unlocking the door, the smile. I never smile at the camera, but the version of me on that screen did. Slowly. Like it knew I'd be watching. My hands started shaking. I checked the live feed. The house looked normal. Dark. Quiet. No lights on. I called my neighbor, Mark. Asked if he could look at my front door and see if anything seemed off. He walked over while I stayed on the phone. It looks locked, he said. Everything's quiet. I checked the clip again. The version of me had clearly unlocked the door and gone inside. So where did it go? I left work early. The entire drive home, I kept replaying that smile in my head. It didn't look like a normal smile. It looked practiced. When I pulled into my driveway, the house looked exactly like it always does. No broken windows, no forced entry, but something felt wrong. You ever get that feeling like someone is inside watching you from behind the curtains? That feeling hit me hard. I unlocked the door carefully and stepped inside. Everything looked untouched. Couch in place, TV off, kitchen lights off. No signs of movement, but the air felt heavier, like it had been disturbed. I walked room to room slowly. Bedroom, bathroom, closet. Nothing. Then I opened the security app again. The camera inside the living room had also recorded motion at 2:12 a.m. My heart pounded. I pressed play. There I was again, standing in my living room, facing the camera directly, not moving, just standing there. For nearly 2 full minutes, not blinking, not shifting, just staring straight into the lens. And then slowly, it tilted its head, exactly 3 degrees to the left. I don't know how I know it was 3 degrees, but it was subtle, controlled, like something studying itself. Then the footage cut out. No static, no glitch, just black screen for 10 seconds. When it came back, the room was empty. I checked the bedroom camera. Nothing. The back door camera. Nothing. So whatever walked in, never walked out. That was the moment I felt it. The house wasn't empty. I turned slowly in the living room, the same room I had just seen myself standing in. And for a second, I thought I saw movement in the reflection of the TV screen. A shape standing behind me, a spoon, around nothing. But the temperature had dropped noticeably. I checked the footage again, frame by frame, at exactly 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds a.m. When the fake version of me was staring into the camera, the eyes blinked. But not both at once. One eye blinked slightly before the other. I have never blinked like that in my life. That wasn't me. And it was inside my house. At 3:03 a.m., while I was standing in my living room reviewing footage, the front door camera sent another alert. Motion detected. I slowly turned toward the front door, and my phone buzzed again. 2:11 a.m. New footage. Uploaded just now. I pressed play. And there I was again, walking into my house. Smiling. I stared at the new upload for a full 10 seconds before I even touched the screen. The time stamped was the same, 2:11 a.m., but the upload time said 3:03 a.m. That made no sense. I was already inside the house at 3:03. I was standing in the exact spot the camera could see, so how could it upload a clip of me arriving again? My hands felt numb as I pressed play. The porch light turned on. The driveway came into view, and then I walked into frame. Same clothes, same backpack, same tired posture, but this time, the head didn't lift to look at the camera right away. It paused at the edge of the frame, like it was waiting for something. Or someone. Then slowly, the head turned toward the lens. The smile was wider this time. Too wide. I could see teeth clearly. And I don't show my teeth when I smile. The video ended right after it stepped toward the door. No unlocking sound. No entering. Just cut. My heart was pounding so loud I could hear it in my ears. I turned slowly toward the actual front door in front of me. It was still closed. Locked. I checked it twice, then 3 times. Still looked. I pulled the blinds slightly and looked outside. The driveway was empty. But something felt different. I checked the live feed from the front camera. It showed me standing inside near the door, holding my phone. Normal. I switched back to playback. There were now 3 separate clips from 2:11 a.m., all slightly different, all showing me walking into frame. In the second one, the smile was wider. In the third one, I wasn't carrying my backpack. That detail made my stomach drop, because in real life, I was still wearing it. I slowly slid the backpack off my shoulders and placed it on the floor. And right as it hit the ground, my phone buzzed again. New upload. 2:11 a.m. I didn't want to open it, but I did. This time, the version of me walked into frame without the backpack, matching exactly what I had just done. My breathing got shallow. The footage wasn't replaying the past. It was adjusting, updating, learning. I backed away from the door slowly. The living room suddenly felt too small. I checked the living room camera playback again. There was a new clip at 2:12 a.m. I pressed play with shaking fingers. The room appeared empty for the first 10 seconds. Then the camera glitched slightly. Just one flicker. And suddenly, I was standing in the middle of the room, facing the lens. No walking in, no entering frame. Just there. Already positioned. My head tilted again. But this time the movement wasn't smooth. It was mechanical, like a puppet on invisible strings. Then it raised its right hand slowly and pointed directly at the camera. At me. The audio crackled for the first time, and I heard something faint. Breathing. But it wasn't coming from the room. It was coming from my phone speaker. In the present moment, I froze. I wasn't breathing like that. The sound was heavier, slower, right behind the microphone. I slowly lowered my phone and listened to the actual room around me. Silence. No extra breathing. But when I lifted the phone again, the sound got louder. Like whoever or whatever was inside that footage was closer to me than the house itself. I dropped the phone on the couch like it burned me. It kept playing. On the screen, the version of me leaned closer to the camera. Heat's eyes didn't blink this time. The pupils looked slightly larger. Then its lips moved. But there was no clear voice. Just distorted static mixed with breath. I grabbed the phone again and turned the volume all the way up. The lips moved again, and through the static, I made out 3 words. You came home. My throat tightened. I whispered back without thinking, "I am home." The live feed flickered. For half a second, the screen showed something behind me in the living room, a shape standing near the hallway entrance. Tall, still, watching. I spun around. Nothing. The hallway was empty, but the air felt colder near it. I walked slowly toward the hallway, forcing myself not to panic. Each step felt heavier than the last. The house creaked once, just normal wood settling. But tonight, it sounded deliberate. I reached the hallway entrance and looked down toward the bedroom. The door at the end was slightly open. I was sure I had closed it earlier. Completely sure. I stepped closer, and that's when I heard it. Footsteps inside the bedroom. Slow, matching my own pace. Step, pause. Step, pause. Like it was copying me. I stopped moving. The footsteps stopped too. I took one small step forward. Inside the room, something shifted. The closet door creaked open slightly. My hands were shaking again. I forced myself to push the bedroom door open fully. The room was dark except for a faint streetlight coming through the window. The closet door was now halfway open, and I could see movement inside, not fast. Just a subtle, shifting shadow. I didn't want to get closer, but I did. Each step toward the closet felt like walking into deep water. Heavy, slow, wrong. When I reached it, I grabbed the handle and pulled the door open fully. Clothes hung normally, shoes on the floor. Nothing else. But on the back wall of the closet, there was a small camera mounted there. One I had never installed. It was pointed directly at the bedroom door, at me. And its red recording light was on. Steady. Unblinking. My phone buzzed again in my hand. New upload. 2:30 a.m. location. Bedroom. I slowly looked from the unknown camera in my closet to the phone screen and pressed play. The footage showed the bedroom from inside the closet. The angle matched perfectly. The door was closed at first. Then it slowly opened, and I walked into the room. But this time, I wasn't alone. Something was walking behind me. Close. Too close, matching my exact movements. Like a second shadow glued to my back, except it was slightly taller. And when I turned toward the closet in the footage, it didn't turn with me. It stayed facing the camera. Smiling, I dropped to the floor, my phone slipping from my hands. The closet camera's red light glared at me, unblinking. It felt alive, watching me, judging me. The footage played again on my phone. This time, the double moved faster than I could. It mimicked me. Perfectly my posture, my gestures. Even the subtle way I breathed, I could feel its presence in the room. Heavy, oppressive, cold. I tried to rationalize. Maybe a hacker, some weird glitch. But nothing explained how the camera in my closet appeared, or why the footage kept updating in real time. I stood and backed toward the bedroom door. The shadow or double moved with me in the footage. Step for a step. Every movement I made, it mirrored, but slightly ahead. As if it was leading me, not following. Panic surged. I ran toward the hallway. Every room I passed seemed distorted. Walls slightly bent, light flickering. The living room camera, still recording, showed me running. But my reflection in the footage paused, tilted its head, smiling. I ran faster. My phone buzzed again. Another upload, timestamp. To 14 a.m. location. Living room. I watched the footage. The double turned to face the camera and whispered, "I've been waiting." I stumbled back. The lights flickered violently. The house groaned, as if alive. I realized something horrifying. This wasn't just footage. It wasn't a glitch. It was a parallel version of me. Inside my own home, and it wasn't alone. I could feel it. Not just the double, but something controlling it. Something feeding on the footage, on the reflections, on fear. I ran to the front door, unlocked it frantically. The porch looked empty, quiet, normal. I stepped outside and looked back. The windows glimmered, and I swear I saw myself inside, standing in the living room, waving a smile that was mine, but not the hairline, the expression. The way it held itself, slightly wrong. I gasped and ran to my car, but the car headlights illuminated the porch, and there it was again. In the window, watching. I jumped into the driver's seat, locked the doors. Heart racing, every instinct screamed to leave. I started the engine, and the phone buzzed again. A new alert, motion detected. Inside my house. Timestamp, 2:15 a.m. I stared at the screen. The footage showed the kitchen this time, and there it was, standing in the corner. The double that shouldn't exist, but this time, it wasn't alone. Behind it, something darker, something undefined, like a shadow attached to the double. It shimmered, twisted, pulled itself from the floor like liquid. I couldn't move, couldn't think. The double turned slowly, looked directly into the camera, and whispered again, "You shouldn't have come home." I realized the phone was showing me events happening simultaneously. Not in the past, not in some parallel loop, but right now, in the present. Every upload was happening as I watched. I was trapped in my own surveillance, my life replaying on a screen, controlled by something inside the house, something patient, something hungry. I screamed into the phone. "Who are you?" No answer. Just the red light in the closet camera, glowing brighter. The double took a step forward in the footage, and the shadow behind it grew, filling the room, filling my mind. I wanted to run back inside, but I knew the moment I stepped through the door, it would follow. Closer. Ready? Waiting. I looked at the street. Neighbors' lights were off. Silent. Empty. Perfect. The shadow moved again in the footage, across the kitchen.c. Toward the hallway, toward me. I realized this was no longer about me leaving. It was about it coming for me. Through the screens, through the cameras, through the reflections, and I had no idea how to stop it. I turned the car around. Headlights cut through the darkness, but every camera feed updated as I drove away. I could see myself inside, standing, watching, smiling. I couldn't escape because it already knew where I was, and it was patient. Unblinking, I slammed the car into reverse and sped down the street. The rear-view mirror showed nothing, just empty road, quiet houses. I told myself it was over, but the phone buzzed again. Another upload, timestamp, 2:16 a.m. Location, my bedroom. I looked down. The footage showed the closet camera view, and there I was, sitting on the edge of my bed, looking straight at the lens. Except I wasn't. I hadn't been in the bedroom for hours. I realized then, it wasn't replaying me, it was replacing me. I had never felt fear like this before. My hand shook violently. I wanted to throw the phone, but curiosity, something primal, made me press play again. The footage went black for a moment, and then like my living room, the double was standing there, not alone. Shadows swirled around it. The temperature in the car seemed to drop 10 degrees. I could feel it. It wasn't just in the house. It was reaching out. Through the cameras, through the screens, through me. I drove faster. Every passing street lamp reflected in my rearview mirror. I saw myself sitting in the passenger seat, not moving, just smiling. I slammed the brakes. My reflection blinked independently. Not me. It leaned toward me, whispered, "You can't leave." I jumped out of the car, ran down the street. My phone buzzed. Another upload. This time, timestamp. 2:17 a.m. Location, front porch. The footage showed me entering my own house. I wasn't there, but it was moving, smiling, waiting. My neighbor's window reflected movement, but when I looked, the curtains hadn't shifted. I realized it wasn't outside. It was inside the house. It had never left. It was patient. It knew I'd check. I could feel its presence closer. I had to act fast. I grabbed a flashlight from the car, ran toward my porch cautiously. Every step I took, the camera feed updated, showing me moving toward the porch. Showing my double standing on the steps, smiling wider than humanly possible. I stepped onto the porch. The air was thick, almost leakhead. I raised the flashlight. The beam fell on the front door. The double was gone. I froze. Then, a movement in the living room window. Something reflected behind the glass. Not my reflection. It waved. I ran inside the house. Every light I turned on revealed nothing. Every shadow shifted unnaturally. I went to the living room, and there it was, standing in front of the TV, smiling. I screamed. It raised its hand slowly and whispered, "You're home." Everything went black. The phone slipped from my hand. The last upload played automatically. 2:18 a.m. The footage showed my living room. From my eyes, the double was behind me, smiling. And then, silence. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I couldn't leave. Because it wasn't just footage. It was me. Or it wanted to be. I dropped to my knees, looked around the room. No one. But the red recording lights from every camera in the house glowed steadily. Unblinking. Watching. Waiting. I realized the truth. The house didn't belong to me anymore. It belonged to it. And now, it had my life. I don't know how long I stayed on the floor. Hours. Minutes. It didn't matter. All I knew was the cameras would never stop. And the double, or whatever it was, would never stop watching. If you ever see yourself on a security camera you never entered, don't watch it. Don't investigate. Because some things aren't meant to come home. If you made it this far on Unblinking, comment below. Would you watch footage like this if it showed your own home? Like if this gave you chills? Share it with someone brave enough to see what home really means. And subscribe to Unblinking for more horror stories that will stop for no one. Because somewhere, right now, a camera is recording something it shouldn't.